Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited tonight to have Maria Baranova here. I heard her on Facebook, oh my God, at least 6 months ago, and absolutely loved her music. And we did connect, and she's been very kind to give us this time tonight. Now, she actually lives in Germany these days, so this is a pre-recorded event. In fact, this is late at night for her. So thank you so much, Marina. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. How are you tonight?
Thank you so much. I'm really great to be here, and I'm really excited about our interview. And so
Yeah,
let's.
I've had a lot of fun. In fact, we've talked about your music, and I've had a lot of fun listening to your music over the last few weeks. And it's going to be very difficult, of course, to do justice to all the music you've composed. But we have some wonderful videos tonight. Some of which are, well, maybe all of them are done by your husband, who's quite talented. I'm very impressed with that. So tell us a bit about your childhood. When you grew up, I believe you were in a musical family. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. I was born in Ukraine,
Hmm.
uh, and I was born to musicians family, and
Hmm.
my parents are both actually piano. They teach piano, and they teach also quite a lot at home.
Mm.
And we had an apartment in Ukraine, and it was a small apartment, but in every room was a piano available.
I love
And
that.
my parents, they also teach, and it's the funny thing is, in one room, my mother taught classical music,
Mm.
and the other room, my father taught improvisation, composition, jazz, and all of this
Wow. So
stuff.
you've had great exposure to a wide variety of music. Wow.
Exactly. So this, and it was really interesting because um, so you can imagine that this is it happens under one roof with a scene wall in between, and actually I this is what how I experience music. Every kind of music
Mm.
happens under one roof, and I don't need to name it. And I just switched the door, so I just switched the room, and this is other opportunities, other language I can describe all those emotions, and
Mm.
uh, this is I think this impact me the most.
Yeah, now one of the things that I also was impressed with, you told me that you have a synesthesia where you can see color or color, you can hear color almost, or color and notes are intertwined with you. That's a fascinating thing. I've heard about it, but I've never met someone that's experienced that. So I noticed in one of your videos, when you compose, you actually drop color things down on maybe they help inspire you in some way, which is just fascinating.
I think every musician, every creative person
Mm.
has some special things, and I think in my case, I have to find the inspiration with colors. Indeed, can
Hmm.
hear every key has a different color for me. So,
Hmm.
and combining those colors, and so to get creative, I can a little bit play with my imagination.
Yeah.
Um, Colors, and it helps a lot.
Hmm.
Um, this my tool to get inspired, maybe.
Yeah. Now, when you were a little girl, did your mom teach you the piano, or how did you get exposed to music? How did you learn music as a child?
Well, I think this was the most natural process for me because my parents were teaching, but they were always also playing at home forehands, and then
Mm.
they put the big books on the piano, and they
Yeah.
also turned pages, and I saw it. And I also took my children books with this colorful pictures, and I
Uh-huh.
also put them on the piano. I also turned the pages. I played about all these pictures. So I
That is
just
adorable. You played your own music.
yes, I created my own music, and
Wow.
my mother, she uh, yeah, she actually she discovered it, and she tried to create a story about all those pictures.
Hmm.
She didn't read it, so she actually heard my music. She saw the pictures, and we created the storytelling behind these pictures, and
Mm.
I played my own imagination. What, for example, we saw a house, and it's a cozy house, but she was making up of all the stories. What could be behind those walls? What could be in the
Mm.
house? I described it musically. It was so interesting, so amazing, and so that was the very beginning.
Mm.
Then I also tried to play boss hands, just the accompaniment and melody, because I had this imagination how to, how to build the line, the storytelling line.
Yeah.
And later, when I was 5 years old, I started to have a real lesson with a teacher, and it was I also had a really amazing teacher. The first one, she was great, and my parents, they didn't teach me, but they helped me with the homework.
Mm, I love it. That's great. And so I think you mentioned to me too at one point that you never, in your mind, music was the world. Everyone was a musician as far as you knew. And so did
Yes,
you know at an early age that you were going to be a musician right out of the gate?
yes, yes, because I thought everyone in this world is musician,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I my parents, they had, I think they were all only musicians in our environment, and I was really surprised when I later, in the kindergarten, I discovered that there were different professions. That's why it was not a question for me. I've always been musician for myself, so it was
Yeah.
um, so natural for
That's
me.
wonderful. Now, this first series of things that are from the hypersuites. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that before we play it?
Yes, yes,
Mm.
hypersits. This is really really interesting. It was a very important project for me, because it was the
Mm.
first exploration about all the things I told you about my family. Because I think, since I had so many impulses and inputs in my early childhood, I I can hear hyperlinks, in the music. If you, for
Mm.
example, play Baroque music, I can I can build a bridge to jazz music, and it's so natural for me. For example, in the Baroque music, they also had, of course, music sheet, but they completely did change the meaning of the music sheet. It used to be like a map with a landscape, and it's
Mm.
up to you what you are doing with your map, so you can create your own path. And
Yeah.
this is actually what happens also in jazz music. They also have jazz standards, and they also have melodies and amazing harmonies. But it's this up to you how you create the storytelling and within this piece.
Yeah.
And so this is what I created in the hypersuites. Uh, this is I show the hyperlinks happen in my head when I hear the Baroque music.
Yeah. Now, this first video is going to have you talking about it in German, but there's subtitles. So let's listen to this.
Hypersuites ist ein sehr persönliches und für mich ein besonderes Projekt, bei dem ich mich der faszinierenden Barockmusik widme. Wenn ich Barockstücke spiele, so entsteht in meinem Kopf eine Reihe von Assoziationen, die ich in diesem Projekt eingehe. Die Ursprungsidee, verschiedene Stücke in Suiten zu kombinieren, habe ich meiner engen Freundschaft mit vielen tollen DJs zu verdanken. Ich mag es, wie die Stücke bei einem Mixtape ineinander fließen und einen neuen Kontext ergeben. Übrigens, das Mischen einzelner Stücke zu einer Suite für einen besonderen Einlass war auch in der Barockzeit eine weit verbreitete Aufführungspraxis. Zum Beispiel Rameau. Seiner Pool hat mich auf die Idee der Minimal Music gebracht. Ich bin auf diese Hyperlinks eingegangen und komponierte Teile mit repetitiven Tönen oder arbeitete mit verschiedenen Geschwindigkeiten wie in den Vogelrufen. Nach einem Übetag, unter anderem an Händels D-Moll-Suite, war ich mit Freunden in einem Club verabredet, wo ein DJ einen Live-Mix spielte. Vielleicht lag es daran, dass der DJ seine Scratches sehr einfühlsam interpretierte, dass mir plötzlich einfiel. Die Ornamente, Vorhalte und Verzierungen sind nichts anderes als kleine Scratches der Barockmusik. Am nächsten Tag bekam mein Händel ebenfalls seine kleine Scratch-Verzierungen auf barocke Art und Weise. Das Album beinhaltet einen weiteren ganz spannenden Hyperlink, der zwischen dem Pianisten und Komponisten Hauschka und mir entsteht. Hauschka komponierte einen Remix auf meine Linkkomposition von La Poule, was dem Stück von Rameau eine zusätzliche Dimension verleiht.
I loved what you did there. That was great. In fact, when you drop the little pieces of color down, that's using your synesthesia. I'm not sure how I'm saying that, but it's using that. It's inspiring you. And do you actually cut up the music physically, or is that more of a metaphor? I mean, do you actually piece it like that yourself? You do.
I
Yeah.
I cut up music music
Yeah.
in this. So
That's
sometimes
wonderful.
when I feel that I have a huge responsibility, of course I'm classical trained pianist, to allow yourself to do something with the beautiful, complete and absolutely perfect pieces. So you
Yes.
have so to fool yourself somehow. So I do it to liberate myself a little bit.
Yeah. It's
To
interesting because I do something a little different, but what I do is I'll take just an 8 measure piece from a famous piece, and then I'll just build something else completely around it. But in the same fashion, even though you're maybe taking little pieces of ideas, by the time you're done, it is totally, a cohesive piece. It doesn't have a choppy feeling at all. It really does have its own existence as a beautiful musical piece. So let's do this next thing, which is the Prelude in B minor.
Möchte ich gerne einen Einblick in meine Werkstatt erschaffen. Wir befinden uns hier in meinem Arbeitsstudio, wo alle Hypersuites entstanden sind. Und ich möchte gerne erzählen, wie das Präludium von Bach-Silote entstanden ist, beziehungsweise von mir bearbeitet wurde. Das E-Moll-Präludium von Bach bestand aus einer Basslinie, einer Begleitung und einer Melodie. Man hat es auch so gespielt, hier Begleitung und die Basslinie die linke Hand und die Melodie die rechte Hand gespielt. Nun, 2 Jahrhunderte später, kam der Alexander Siloti, ein Cousin von Rachmaninow, ein russischer Komponist, und hat das Stück bearbeitet. Er hat die Tonart von E-Moll auf H-Moll geändert und hat die Melodiestimme ganz entfernt. Ich habe dann Folgendes gedacht: Was ist, wenn ich auf diese Weise Bach zurückrolle, allerdings in der neuen Tonart und der neuen Charakter. Also, ich habe dann die Melodiestimme zurückgeholt und das der linken Hand übergeben. Am Ende sieht es dann so aus.
I love the way I think Italian's a beautiful language, but I also think the way you speak German is just so much more fun to listen to you. And I love the way you talk about how you take the bass line and the melodic line and move them around and mix them up. And you're playing on the piece too. I just love the you're one with the piano. You're like you talk about chi and the piano and the energy of it, and you just move so fluidly over the piano, and you play some pretty intricate, difficult parts. You make it look so easy. It's quite fun. I'm glad your husband showed us your hands quite a bit because that's quite fun to
Oh,
watch.
thank you so much. I
That's
appreciate it
great.
very much.
That's
So,
great.
thank you.
Okay, this next thing is a Saraban. We'll play some of that now. That was really awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, now this last piece is La News Plantine, also from the Hypersuites. And is there anything else you want to say before we listen to this one?
Yes, actually, this I could maybe I could describe it like the construction of this piece. It
Hmm.
would be, I could compare it with a train ride. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's, for example, so you get into this train, and this is a path. So and then you look out the window, and you see the beautiful landscape. It is so
Hmm.
amazing, and you suddenly decide to go out to just to explore this landscape and
Yeah.
do things and be free and you explore it, and then you come back to the train again and you go on with the piece. So this is like the piece, like a train. I can go out, and I created also the bass line and the left hand,
Hmm.
and I improvised on it, and then later I just go in the train again, and just the ride continues.
I love it. Okay, with that background, let's listen to this. I'm sure we'll enjoy it. Oh my God, I really love, there's at one point in this piece where you're improvising over the bass line, which is already pretty crazy. And I don't know what meter it is, but it's like 11 over 22 or something. It's just amazing. And this is just wonderful. Yeah, that's great. By the way, I would love to get from you the sheet music for that piece Prelude in B minor. That's just a gorgeous
Oh,
piece. So if you
so
could send
thank
that to me at some point, that would be wonderful. Now this next piece is dear to me because I happen to really love WC, and the girl with the flaxen hair is one of my favorites. I played all the time, and in fact, I recently did a little idea. I took one little piece of it and turned it into something else. But what I love about this piece is that even though it's influenced, you're inspired by flaxen hair, and even though I know it so intimately, I don't really hear you like taking too much from it. I mean, you are so inspired by it that it's really your own piece. You can take full credit 100% for what you play in this piece. So this is just a gorgeous piece. So without further ado, this is
Thank you
unfolding
so much.
from the Unfolding Debussy album. This is the Flaxen Hair. That was just great. That was great.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
so
I did it. I took this. We have four notes in common with the Debussy, but I thought that can be the different goal,
yeah,
the less flaxen hair, and maybe the different story, or maybe the same girl, but in the different phase of of her life, or somehow.
it's beautiful.
But
Now tell me about the piano. It seemed like a very different piano here, wasn't it?
indeed,
Mm.
this is an una corda piano. It's quite known in Germany.
Mm.
And this is completely the opposite of the grand piano because
Mm-hmm.
una corda has only one string per key, and
Mm.
it's very fragile. And it's very fragile. Also, the mechanics is very fragile, and you can hear a lot of noise,
A lot of
but you really
mechanics in there, yeah.
yes. And it's open, so you don't have a body, so you
Mm.
don't have a lot of wood, and it's quite light to lift it up, and so two two
Two people
people
could carry
pick it up.
it.
Yes. But I like this fragile, this not perfect. This is somehow, you can get you can hear everything so like inside of this
Yeah.
piano.
So did you
And
actually compose this piece on the piano itself, or did you? Yeah. So that it had inspiration value to itself too. That's really interesting. Yeah.
it's of course it was inspired of minimal music, which I really believe Debussy was the very first composer who actually invented this element of of this
Mm.
music. This is
Just gorgeous. Now this next piece is called "The Snow Is Dancing." Do you want to tell us something about that before we play
oh
it?
yeah, that was a really nice, interesting, very interesting story behind it because this is the very first song I ever composed.
Oh,
So,
really?
yes, this is it, actually it starts with the Debussy piece by Debussy, but then I go out and I retell completely the other story. So this is actually this is from the children book of Debussy, but this the story I created, it's completely something very different. So this is about the breaking two adults breaking up right now.
Oh,
So it's really
oh,
somehow the snow is dancing, and it's maybe the last snow is dancing for them as a
Wow. What inspired you to do this? Did you go through something like this yourself or your parents or something like that?
The
Or,
music, the music.
yeah.
No, actually not really. So the
No.
music, because I wanted to see the Debussy from completely the opposite point of
Yeah.
view. So
Hmm.
from the shadow side, what could be hidden in those pieces, those really wonderful pieces, but it has to be the shadow side. And
Mm.
I heard, I played this piece and I played it different, and then all of a sudden I came up with the melody and then with the, lyrics for the, but it was really interesting because it was also the first time in my life I ever sung.
Oh, you also sing.
I also sing in this piece. So, and
Oh, wow.
actually, initially, I wanted to work with a wonderful singer, but it didn't work out. So
Mm.
so this is my voice, and it was an amazing experience. Because I never, I have the feeling on piano that this is my body. So we are one. So I don't have the feeling this is the wooden instrument.
Okay, here we go.
I close my eyes to the light in front of me. The sun will rise again tonight, but we won't see what we both know, what we deny. The heart is blind, but not the mind. You see the moon and believe it's not a lie. In the cool of the year, fire died. You hear a song, I heard the swan. She's letting go, she's letting you know. So let me go. I'm not afraid, so don't be afraid. Just a door, 1,000 more before we're gone. So carry on. When nobody's wrong, we just wrote a song of love. It's just a song. The snow is falling. Is it dancing? And are we fading or just escaping? And are we crazy or only human? We're only human. Like a dream, my mind to love and rewind like a fire on ice. Reroll of the dice like a thread in the wind, of the prayer of a sin. The snow is dancing like the ending of time, of the word you can rhyme, like a touch you can feel, the heart you can steal. Everything is so clear when the snow is dancing. We close our eyes still we fly forever free. The sun will rise above the sky we long to see. We spread our wings into a dream. The heart is alive, and love will arrive for you and for me.
Wow. I didn't realize you were singing that. I should have thought that. That's wonderful. How much of that have you done? Have you done a whole album of you singing with these kind of things?
No, only two pieces. So this
Oh.
is only for two pieces there, and it was such an amazing experience because doing music with your body, so really, but it was an amazing. I'm really glad I did it, and I played quite often this program in the middle of the program live. I had to
Mm,
sing, and I
yeah,
was so excited. It was so excited. Yeah, I can't describe it. It's
yeah.
it's
I think people that sing are very brave. How did you start? How did you learn that you could sing? Did you sing in a chorus as a kid or something? Or
No, I don't think I can sing, but the point is I already composed this piece, and I had the appointment with the producer, so in the studio, and then I wanted to work with the singer together,
mm,
and it didn't work out, so we couldn't work with, and then I just sang myself
good
because
for you. I actually was in a showcase years ago where I wrote three love songs, and two of the singers didn't show up, so I sang the songs myself. But it wasn't beautiful. It was just me, the composer, singing his own material. But people appreciated what I did because they realized the singers crapped out on me. Anyway, but that was just gorgeous. That was beautiful, and I love the all the imagery, little sugar cubes and everything. Were those figures bendable, or were they all different figures at different points? Because you have them sitting and standing and lying down. Uh,
So, yes, this is yeah. I remember how my husband did this recording, this video. So it was so interesting. So he
mm,
created some scenes with those tiny those figures. They were so big. So that's really tiny, and with
yes,
all the sugar cubes, and this is so amazing. But
very
he
nice.
he managed to tell the story. So with this small,
Well,
Uh,
for people that don't know, too, this is from the Children's Corner, WC. But you took that simple little idea in the beginning and turned it into something completely amazing. So that was quite
exactly.
fun to
I
watch.
played it. I played it slowly, but I just had imagination. So this is the snow is dancing, but what happens? So this is not about the snow. What's actually behind the? So you can you can imagine somewhere the snow, but we have so many stories at the same time.
Yeah,
We could
yeah,
tell the story about Children's Corner, but we could tell the story the next door, and
yeah.
there something really
Hmm.
heartbreaking with the separation of the two people.
Yeah.
So
Now, this next thing is very different. This is during COVID, Constellation Machine. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
yes, that's because it was, I think for all of us, that was a terrible time and a challenging time somehow. We were so lonely and but also frightened and I wanted to escape, to be honest, to be able to escape somewhere in the parallel universe.
Yeah.
Some, um, but I didn't want to escape there alone. So I created a newsletter and I asked my audience to send me some inspiration, some pictures or photos, but everything has to be personal, so some personal story behind the photos, and
Mm,
and and that was such an amazing experience for me because I've got simple photos or maybe some paintings by hobby painters, but it was amazing because I had the strong connection to these people, and we created in this way we created some imaginary, I don't know, world where they tell me some personal intimate stories, and I put it into music. So I
mm,
composed a lot of music, and it was later I also I had an album, so I called it Atlas of Imaginary Places. So
Mm,
this imaginary world and Atlas of Imaginary Places, and Constellation Machine is one of these pieces. And I really loved what Damen, my husband, he also created a music video, but it also with gaming techniques. And he also created something this imaginary
yeah,
place, imaginary world, and just to escape, because we are capable, it's possible for us. If it's overwhelming, it's everything is just completely disaster, we always can escape in our imagination.
there
So,
you go.
and this
Now,
is,
this first image, is this an image that someone sent you, or this is your husband's image?
yes,
Yeah,
he no, he created of so he knew what about the project, and also this is actually the music video with the going with the music. So
yeah. Okay, here we go. Wow, that is truly magical.
thank you so much.
You know, it's funny that how you can get wrapped into these games. I remember years ago there was something called Myst, and I spent hours and hours playing it. And there was one land where there was running water, and I played it for so long that later on in the day, when someone was running water, I'd get the flashback to the actual scene. That's how much I played it. So
Yes,
anyway,
yeah, I can
what
relate.
a
Yes,
beautiful piece. Yeah.
thank you so
Now
much.
this next thing's very different. This is called White Letters, and
Yes.
when you told me, because you were brought up Jewish. And so Christmas didn't have the same meaning that it may have for other people. But one of the things I was surprised to hear is that you told me that that in the Ukrainian town you were in, there was a lot of anti-Semitism. I didn't realize that. So you actually are much more comfortable in Germany, which is almost ironic, but that you're around
Yeah.
people that are supportive and all of that. So that did have some impact on you. And this piece does have kind of a pensive nature to it, you know. But did you want to tell us anything more about it before I play it?
Yes, of course. So this is the whole project actually, because indeed, so I grew up in Ukraine, and because of due to the anti-Semitism, so I always felt I'm different. I'm not Ukrainian. I always felt I'm Jewish. So and I was,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
then later I moved to Germany when I was 19 years old, and then in Germany I turned into Ukrainian. Yeah, and then later I was invited to play concerts in Israel, and I was wondering how I will be there. So how I will feel there. So, and I definitely, so for Israeli people, I'm definitely the German, the
Mm.
German.
No, okay.
So, and this is very interesting. This is
Mm.
something with the identity. So, but I know the point is, I think I came across a term white letters, and this is really interesting because it was in term of a rabbi, and he said we think about all those holy books in every religion. We have holy books somehow, yeah, and we always think all those black letters written. The holy books, they are actually they're very important. But he thinks actually the space between the black letters, it's at least even more important maybe. So and he names it white letters. So
Yes.
there's
It's almost
black
like
letters.
the expression reading between the lines.
Exactly,
There's a
exactly,
whole, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And so and I was thinking about what is actually in my case what would be the white letters, since it's everything, it's so abstract, the identity, and so and I thought actually I experience every year, I experience a miracle
Mm.
since I live in Germany, because when I was in Ukraine, it was a communism time, right? And we didn't have any religion at all. So we had in the winter time we had a Christmas, we had no Christmas Eve, or we
Mm.
had only the New Year's Eve, and
Mm.
but it was not religious. It was not you know spiritual somehow.
Mm. Yeah.
Was the beginning, this new year, the beginning of the new year, something you wish luck each other with the new year. But I experienced since I'm in Germany, and of course in United States in December. So I experience every time. This is a miracle. The people change the whole world, so it changes, and people are getting spiritual and so so different. And I
Mm.
thought, what is it actually? So this I see it like an outsider because I don't know anything about it.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
and I decided to make an album, to create an album about Christmas without knowing actually what Christmas is.
Uh-huh.
This is my white letters. So this is all about the white letters.
Okay. Thank you for that. powerful, very
Thank
powerful.
you.
Now, this next one is probably the most powerful because this is called Homeland, and it's about Ukraine, I assume,
Yeah,
and
yeah, and
very
indeed.
powerful piece. And I think I told you at one point, I actually wrote a piece that I called Salute to the Ukrainian People, based on a very small interstitial part of Chopin's um, Prelude number one. I'm sorry, Nocturne number one. It's just very, it's just a little transitional part, which most people don't even recognize. And I turn that into the whole bass line for it. So in a similar way that what you're doing, that's why I love what you're doing. You take ideas and you morph them into something completely your own. So, but do you want to talk a little bit about Homeland while I set this up?
Yes, it's indeed it's Ukraine, and somehow I composed it a few weeks after the war started, and it was for me because I'm from Kharkiv, and Kharkiv is the actually the city where the war started. And I've got, you know, terrible, terrible, terrible messages from my friends from Kharkiv, and
Mm,
they took photos or videos with their you know mobiles and sent it to me. Just you know, just seeing all those pictures, I just was the you know the home city will be destroyed so soon. It was so terrible. So I had to,
awful.
you know,
Yeah.
yes, I had to keep it. So this feeling of home
Mm,
somehow did not get destroyed. So, and I wanted so badly so nobody can take my feeling of home, you know. I
mm.
composed this piece in terms of feel myself in this way, you know. And I also put some stock videos, you know, to just to show the nature, the Ukraine without all those terrible things happened later. So, you know, just to keep all the small details, what's actually mean for all of us, this word home, you know, just
Mm,
to keep
yeah.
and this music is not tragedy. It's not a tragedy. It's something. So nobody can take it from us. You know,
Yes.
even the
Yes.
war.
Hmm. Just beautiful, beautiful.
Mhm. Thank you. Mhm.
And I have to ask you, I notice just a musical question. I noticed that you change keys back and forth. And did you do that because it was easy to write, or did you do it consciously because I said I want to change, I want to modulate here and there? How did you think about that?
I usually just follow the melody,
Mm,
um, and usually I hear the music and I just try to find it
hmm
on the piano immediately.
mm.
This is never, I think this is never the decision I consciously make.
It's
So
not like an intellectual thing, or I have to change keys here or something. It's more of a
I
an
can,
organic thing. Yeah,
it's very intuitive. So it's indeed
yeah.
important for me to, yeah.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
this next thing is based on a Christmas carol, Carol of the Bells, and it was an arrangement by your teacher. It's a
Indeed.
beautiful piece. Tell us a little bit more about it. Before I set it up, tell us about that.
Yeah, the Carol of the Bells. This is, of course, very well known
Mm,
carol. But I noticed that actually in the world, it's not. Um, yeah, actually, this is original Ukrainian melody, and we used to, even
oh,
though we
really?
did
Oh.
celebrate Christmas, so but we always sung it as a Christmas tune, Christmas
Mm,
carol, and this is originally from Ukraine,
I did
and
not know that. Wow.
yes,
Mm,
yes, I guess it's not. It's really this is something very few people know, but
wow.
it's indeed Ukrainian, and that's why it's so important for me to play it. And also this arrangement
Mm,
um, was also made of my teacher, by my teacher, and he still live in Kharkiv in Ukraine. And yeah, and the terrible war, and I
mm.
played it. Played every in every season,
Yeah.
just to support and
Oh, it's a
to,
gorgeous piece.
yeah,
What's his name?
Sergei Yushkevich.
Mm. Okay, so let's listen to this beautiful piece. I think the first time I heard this piece, it was a 7-minute version by George Winston. I don't know if you heard of George Winston, but he's a pianist over here. Just absolutely, I just love this piece. I have to ask, do you know if, did your husband use AI for any of this? Do you know? The
Of
imagery is just so amazing.
Indeed,
Yeah.
it was the beginning of AI. It was at the very beginning, and it was a very creative tool. Right now,
Oh my
it's
God.
it's not so creative. It's getting in the other direction, but on the beginning, and it was 2023.
Mm,
It was really interesting. So he used it, but we also spoke a lot about the identity, and I really like this last Black's picture where he actually he creates two pictures, and the one picture are trees and the other are hands. the roots of the trees and hands. And this is very interesting because I told him right before he did this video, I told him, actually, I don't think I do need to search for my identity. Am I Ukrainian? Am I German or maybe
Mm,
Jewish somehow? Because I have my piano somehow. I feel home there. So there's
yeah.
my roots. So and this is in this last picture. It was so touching for me that I really cried when I saw this
Oh
this
my
video.
God. I have to admit, the part that I was very impressed with is a part near the end where the woman has looked like she's made of marble and her hair is like marble strands, and it was quite beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, this is also a Christmas kind of tune. It's based on God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, and this was used in a Christian Dior commercial, which is really pretty exciting. Um,
Yes. Oh
and
wow.
yeah, so let me just
Biggest
yeah.
Christmas gift ever, because I recorded this piece. It was like a you know um little exploration improvisation, and then um and few weeks later I just got a request from Dior to use it for the Christmas commercial, and it
I
was like
love it.
I was
Wow,
so it's really
wow.
yeah.
So here it is. This is actually on Facebook. Just great. That's gorgeous. I
Thank
love
you. Of
that.
course, they used just a little,
Yeah, yeah.
just a little bit piece of it, but it was
And so
such a.
was this something that you had, was it an album that was released, or did you put it online somehow, or how did they hear it? Do you know?
I have no idea. So indeed, I released it. So with my wonderful label. So we're working since 9 years together, since the Hyperspace album,
Hmm.
and I said, I'm just because it's everything is new for me. God rest your merry gentlemen. I didn't know this tune, so I've never. And then I came up with this beautiful melody, and I thought, oh, that's so amazing melody. I would like to create some tune
Yeah, you did some fun things with it. Very
and then
nice.
and then and then I've sent it to my label, and they immediately said, "Yes, this is a great spirit in this piece. Let's release it on streaming platforms." We
Yeah.
immediately released it, and it was very quick. Everything happened so fast, and I have
Wow.
no idea how they. And even my label was surprised how it. That was not
So do
just
you
from.
get free perfume from Christian Dior?
No.
No. No. Now, this next series is from Cosmic Calendar, which is a very cool concept. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yes, thank you. Thank you for asking. So
Yeah.
this is actually this is some kind of a declaration of love, to our global home. So
Mm.
I just thought further, uh, we live in on this planet. We also. And then I just came up with a term, a cosmic calendar. So this is an idea. You put the origin of the universe in a timeline of the year. So you would start in January, and in January would be, for example, Big Bang. And then you would put all uh, all those developments with the origin of the universe from
Yeah.
January until December. So it means, for example, February would be the cooling of the universe and the universe getting transparent, and
Mm.
then March would be the gravity, and somehow every month would be just to have an idea.
Yeah.
Much time it took from the and some in some months in autumn, it would be the origin of the sun, and then the origin of the moon, and then Earth. The interesting thing, in the last seconds of December, in the very last seconds, the human arrive. So,
Yeah.
and
That's
this,
all. We're such a tiny part of the
yes,
timeline. Yeah.
the last seconds of
That's
December.
a sobering thought. Yeah.
Yes. And I was so amazed and at the same time so angry because it's so stupid actually to have wars because we are fighting for something what doesn't belong to us. We are
Yeah.
guests here. We are in the last seconds of December. So
Yeah.
we are allowed to be here. We share all those miracles, around us.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
get goosebumps just listening to this because my dad told me when I was a kid, he said, imagine being in a rocket ship and just going forever and ever and ever and not reaching the end of the universe. But then imagine you get to the end of the universe. What's outside of that? And this very concept of us floating in this space, what is this thing called space? What is this thing called existence? If people just spent a second thinking about that, I mean, maybe we wouldn't be so bitterly, you know, very territorial about every little thing. It's just, it'd be nice to think that everyone could think that way, but unfortunately, the world isn't like that. But what a wonderful vision. And so you basically have a different piece for every month of the year. We're going to play four of them. Oh, no, five of them. So this first one is called Particles of Freedom. So, and this is just floating random particles of the universe floating around in space, I imagine, right?
exactly. That was the
Exactly.
beginning because this liberation of all the possibilities. What actually embodies the Big Bang, it's liberation. So if you just get into pressure and somehow, yeah.
I love it. That's great. So you must have had a lot of fun building that. That's a very different thing,
Baranova.
obviously. Yeah.
Yes, of course. It was the experiment, and it was the very first experiment actually for January, and I had very much fun because it was the first time I produced it all by myself, all this electronic
Yeah.
stuff, and it was
And
so.
may I ask you, I'm sorry, what system did you use for that?
So I worked with Ableton and I used a lot of native instruments, sounds, and also created, you know, so that's it was really amazing.
Fun,
All
very
those
fun.
possible, yes.
I absolutely loved it. Okay, now this next thing is April, and there was light, and so this is when
So
light comes.
this is how I imagine. So the universe was dark, completely dark, and then I imagine this is my creative vision. Um, I imagine this one point of light, it appears. So one ray of light, just the first one, and it's really amazed about all this universe, and just traveling all around and discovering and then getting bigger, and somehow now we have a lot of light around. So this is the original
I just
the
love your mind. It must be fun to be in your head. You have this great. This is great. Okay, so let's listen to this. This is wonderful. It's called "And There Was Light." This is great. I love the piano sound on this. Now, was this played on your Bechstein? Your Bechstein?
No, no, I used in this whole album, I used all those instruments, but native instruments.
Ah,
Exactly, these are samples of native
samples.
instruments.
Yeah, that's amazing. The
Yes,
samples are
yes.
so amazing these
But
days.
indeed, this is the sound of the Bechstein piano and Maverick, and I was amazed all these opportunities, all these possibilities using all the sounds.
Very nice. Now, this next one is in our current month, the month of May. This is called Gliding on the Milky Way. And let's listen to this. I love the choreography on that. That's great. There's a lot of fun.
Thank you. It was
Looks
really
like you had a
fun.
lot of fun with that one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
And it took a while to get all those scenes and everything, you know. It's
Oh yes. Oh
imagine.
yes. 2 weeks.
Yeah. Wow. You know, you had some very interesting wooden contraptions there, and I bought one for my grandson. I was all excited about him building it, and then found out later that his older brother had to do it because he really didn't want to do it. So I was very disappointed. But those look like fun devices there. Did
Yeah.
your husband actually build those, or did you build those, or are those things that you bought pre-built? You know, offhand?
So my brother-in-law did it
Ah, they're really
because yes, it's really kind of him,
they're
but
very fun.
his passion. Yes.
Very fun. I love it. Okay, so this next one is October, Celestial Serenade. I would love to see that performed with real ballerinas. I think that makes a beautiful ballet.
It would be the birth of the sun, but
Mm.
it was played wonderfully by colleagues and friends of mine on the cello and violin. And I just realized how interesting. So this narration of the music video, right?
Mm.
That's something with the yeah. Yes, with this engine, gaming engine ballerina and all those creators crying, what have we done to our Oh, it's so yes, so
Yeah.
interesting because it's somehow this different kind of narration.
Now I love this. This is the full version of Air, which is the November month, and I guess that's when air comes around on the Earth. So, and this is a beautiful drawing. I don't know where this drawing came from, but maybe your husband did this. I don't know, but this is a gorgeous drawing. So let's play this piece now. This is Air. Very nice.
Mhm. Thank you.
Very nice. So where did that drawing come from? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, this is indeed my husband. Yeah.
Wow, he's just
Um,
amazing. We got to interview him sometime.
yes, 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 yes. It's please do.
Now, these
Yeah.
next four pieces are improvisations from you, which shows your real musicality because you do things, some amazing things with these. This next one is just, I don't think you have a name for it. It's just you talk about it being a bittersweet improvisation, and it's on
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram rather. These are all four on Instagram. So let me play this one. It's only like about a minute, but just beautiful, just beautiful.
Thank
Just beautiful.
you.
So that's one
Thank
improvisation. Yeah.
you.
This is another one that is, and you said something about a conversation with the piano on this one. I love the way you talked about a conversation with the piano.
Thank
Here
you.
we go. Very nice. Now
Mhm.
this one is based on Ravel, an homage to Borodin. And I love the fact that you have your name in lights here. In fact, I don't know if I can blow this up and people can see it or not, but your name comes up in lights here. Where were you? Where is this? This is at MoMA,
Oh,
I guess?
yes, it was on a television, German television last month,
Yeah.
and this is yeah, it was an amazing location, and I really enjoyed it, except of the time, so I had to play at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's hard to warm up. But I have to tell you, I'm impressed because you obviously took this wonderful Ravel, um, uh, the Ravel lines and turned it into your own piece. It's just gorgeous. So here we go. And then finally, this is another one that's inspired by Ravel.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
Love it. You know,
That,
this has been so much fun, and unfortunately, you won't be able to sit in for some questions and answers. So I just want to ask a few questions that I'm sure my audience would want to ask you. and one of them is just, who do you think are some of your favorite composers? Who do you think influence you maybe more than others? And if you can think of any, as you think about your music and how you play.
I really love impressionists. I love Ravel. I am also in love with Schumann, definitely. I really
Mm.
like
Hmm.
the German romanticism, so romantic music.
Hmm.
Um, but actually, I sing all those um, epochs, also all those languages, from
Mm.
all of you know of the
Hmm.
centuries. This is
Mm.
what I try to use for the topics. Use the language what fits the most, the
Mm.
best.
Yeah.
But I also really like to explore the unique language. For example, so I worked a lot on the language of Ravel. What exactly does this language to recognize makes it so recognizable,
The musical language. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
musical language,
Yeah. Yeah.
to recognize it so easily, and what
Yes.
are the elements and
Hmm. Yeah. And how do you find your inspiration? Do you force yourself to sit down every day, or do you get inspired by things around you, or do you do a little both, or how do you go about getting inspired to write music?
this is very different in different periods of time. But right now, I'm completely like crazy about the improvisation, and I
Mm.
improvise a lot.
Mm.
And the most pieces are coming from the improvisation.
Yeah.
And if I have, if I've got no inspiration, then I do a lot of sight reading,
Hmm.
to get ideas, and then I go out from the pieces, and I
Yes.
improvise on the small ideas, and somehow I think, oh, it could be an interesting idea, the few bars for a composition, and then I
Yeah.
follow. So
Yeah.
it's
Very exciting. I look forward to continue to listen for your music. And is there any specific way you'd like people to buy your music? Do they buy it on your website, or do they subscribe to Spotify, or what's the best way for people to support you?
Oh, that's so amazing. Um actually I would like to create a newsletter,
Hmm.
because then I have the feeling. So I'm really appreciate people listening on streaming platforms, and I amazed about all those listeners, the
Yeah.
number. But it's also it's great for me to try to be in contact, to stay in touch,
Hmm.
and to feel all those people, to feel this connection, because
Yeah.
this is why I'm actually doing music. And I right now, Instagram, maybe some interaction with the
Yeah.
list would be
Excellent.
really nice, because I've get inspired by people the most. So, and
Hmm.
this it's somehow, and I will build probably soon some newsletter,
Oh,
uh,
great. Excellent.
subscription in my on my website, because I would like to be in touch with the people, to
Yeah.
know, yeah, this is something personal from me to yeah,
Yeah,
to
that-
people.
that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a lot of fun. I look forward to
Thank you.
keeping in touch with you, and I can't thank you enough for your time tonight. And you're actually, it's pretty late there now. It's probably about midnight or something after that, even so.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. You have a great night, and we look forward to keeping in touch. And you're very inspiring. So to all of us, for all of us, I want to thank you for your music and everything you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I had a lot of fun speaking to you.
Thanks a
So
lot. Have a great night.